All right, folks, good afternoon. Let's get airborne with our primary live trade brief. It is Tuesday, it's 1 o'clock on the east coast of these once United States. Let's go ahead and get airborne and do our primary live trade brief. We've got a lot to cover today, a lot of positions, a lot to cover in the model portfolios, a lot to cover here at Top Gun Options as well. We did our welcome aboard brief last night for our next group of 50 full throttle potential members. Got a huge response last night because we made a very special offer last night, which is gone. It was available last night, and now it is over with. And we're going to talk about moving forward, how you can grab your full throttle slot. So we knocked out the welcome aboard last night. Before we logged in, as you were sitting here waiting, that was the replay page. The replay page is in the chat box. Let me show you the link because it's easy to remember. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT. Stands for full throttle replay. So this is the replay page. Last night's replay is on there. Today's session will be on there, blah, 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 blah. So that's where we put all the replays on the replay page. Everybody give me a virtual thumbs up or a vertical head nod that you have the 7-step trade plan and the OPCL, the options pocket checklist. It's $55 right there, and there's $45 right there if you buy them on our website. You guys got that for becoming registering here. Good. Everybody has those. Make sure you have the trade plan handy because we're going to go through that today when we look at some real live trades in the market. Okay, so that is the replay page. And let's cover the rest of the flight schedule. PLTB today at 1 o'clock. Then we're going to do some full throttle training tonight. Haven't decided what tactic we're going to cover tonight, but this is a sample of the 8 sessions you're going to get starting in a couple weeks here. I got to take a look at the schedule and see when it's going to be most optimum to do our next round of 8 full throttle live briefs. Make sure all the folks that got on board and got your slots last night that you go and start watching the previous full throttles. Let me show you on the member site where this all is. So for everybody that signed up last night, first of all, welcome aboard. You got a freaking phenomenal deal. Underneath member content right here, go where it says full throttle. Okay. These were the last full throttle we did was back in March. Okay. So make sure you do this and and you can just scroll down, click older entries. So full throttle is going to start with what? Session 1. Where do I get my financial intelligence, my great South Jersey intelligence, the 7-step trade plan, and our trading methodology. Options basics is session number 2. It's about an hour to hour and a half of calls. Oh my God, look when this was. look at the front of that video. Everybody remember that guy up in Chicago, Jesse Smollett? Jeez. That's a way back. That's a throwback. And then we do session 4, which was covered calls and cash secured puts, right? Covered calls, cash secured puts. Yep. Then we do bearish spreads, bullish spreads, double verticals, synthetic stock, long call diagonals, and end up with iron condors. So as I said, probably beginning of June, since we're already towards the end. Yeah, probably the beginning of June is when we'll start up these next new 8 briefs. We usually do them Tuesdays and Thursday night from 7 at 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock when the market's closed. The reason I'm probably going to wait until the beginning of June is what we're going to brief in a couple minutes, the trade war. The Chinese trying to increase their tariffs, their fire on June 1st. The president last Monday said what? We're going to know in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's about to get really interesting. We're going to talk about why the market's having a little bit of a relief rally or recovery today. But look at what it's doing. Right around that 50-day moving average, right there. It's a magnet. Oh, we went through it. Oh, we went above it. Now we're underneath it. Now we're coming back to it. As I said, I told my members about a week or so ago, I said, we're probably going to chop around this 50-day moving average. But any sort of bad potential news, one blink, and we're back down to that 200-day moving average. Okay, so little tangent there. So 1 o'clock this afternoon, we're in the primary live trade brief. We do these every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We go about an hour and a half-ish in the primary live trade brief. Tonight, like I said, the sample full throttle training. And then this is a change to when you opted in. We're actually going to do our accelerated retirement brief tomorrow at 10 a.m. A little different portfolio, a little more conservative trades, but this was moved up from 1 o'clock because I'm actually leaving tomorrow out of here and heading over to Harbor Island, 88-foot Pershing. Looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. I obviously got access to my computer and stuff like that. I'm going to be trading and everything like that, but a little bit of a getaway over to the islands. So schedule change. The reason we're not leaving Thursday, it's supposed to be a little bit rough, and I don't like rough, man. I did my rough on board an aircraft carrier. Yeah, man. Was that you, Bob? Or no, who said that? Yeah, Brad, Mr. Barnes. Yes, Tesla. We talked about Tesla, a year and a half ago. One of the guys I used to trade with, sell the wife, sell the kids, put every dime you have in Tesla stock. I own 5 Tesla. I'm like, sold. I will take the other side of that trade. It's a Ponzi scheme. The thing's going to zero. Maybe it's not going to zero. Morgan Stanley said today, on a good day, it's worth $10. So maybe I'm wrong. But if you had listened to me telling you a year and a half ago to short the hell out of Tesla, you'd be Amy, one of my private clients, is up $120,000 shorting Tesla in the past year. Phenomenal. Lady is a genius. You guys know me. If you don't know me, watch the replay from last night. Wiz, Hornet guy, went to Wall Street after I applied everything I was learning flying fighters to my trading, right? Went up to a huge firm up in Chicago, helped build a hedge fund, helped build Options House, was the CEO and founder of the Options News Network. It was called Peak 6 Media. And, and a couple other people that are in my Commodores Club coaching, same thing, not that massive returns, but hey, man, what was it, 6 months ago, folks, that, we talked about disaster puts on Tesla. I'm like, the dude is, whether it's Zuckerberg or what's his name, Elon Musk, they're good entrepreneurs. God bless them. America. Love entrepreneurial guys like that. Entrepreneurs sometimes, folks, make the worst CEOs. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are awful CEOs. Mark Zuckerberg is a personality sump. He will suck the personality out of you. The guy's awful. Elon Musk, great visionary, awesome. Put him in charge. Give him a new title, Chief Strategy Officer, and bring in an adult to run the company. So just because they built, something good doesn't mean they can sustain something good. Anyway, I'm Valentine, man. Even though my call sign's Wiz, you can call me Valentine because I'm kind of like Eddie Murphy in trading places. Went from being a lowly old retail trader all the way up to the big leagues up in Chicago. Okay. All that stuff was covered last night in thorough detail in the Welcome Aboard brief. So do me a favor and go watch that, and you'll learn a little bit more about me. I wanted to share with you real quick where we're targeting for January of 2021. And actually, this might be an older site because we have to update it. Amazon, we trade the Death Star. We actually have a separate trading service that's outside of Full Throttle called Solo Amazon, where we just trade one name. Well, 1.5 names. We trade Amazon, but we also trade the XLY. Why? Because the XLY is 25% of Amazon stock. So it's kind of a good proxy for Amazon. Since it's a $1,900 stock, it's a little hard to trade a contract in it. So we also trade the XLY. Sin stock's in trouble a little bit lately. If we get a trade deal, MGM is going to see a rip your face off rally. Wynn is actually selling one of its, was it Boston or somewhere in Massachusetts properties to MGM. I'm hearing a little bit of rumors that MGM might actually be taking over Wynn at the end of the day. Our defense pick is Raytheon. We're actually going to take a look at a Raytheon trade in a little bit. Our finance trade is Visa. We love Visa. We'll take a look at our Visa position tomorrow in accelerated retirement. We have a long-term bullish trade on Visa. We also have a bull put spread and a bear call spread, looking at an iron condor that's looking very profitable right now. CSX, we talked a little bit about CSX last night as our transport pick. We're going to look at CSX again today. And then we do something a little, as you're going to learn when you become a member here, we have a lot of wizisms, right? I call these our Captain Kirk trades. Well, actually, EWZ isn't a Captain Kirk trade anymore. It's a no-kidding position. EWZ is the Brazil ETF. If you don't know what's going on down in Brazil, they elected the Trump of the tropics, Javier Bolsonaro, right? The Trump of the tropics. So that's a good position. Emerging markets have been getting slaughtered since the trade war heated up. We'll take a look at Brazil and our EWZ position in a little bit. The bull put actually is looking a hell of a lot better than it was a couple days ago. Now we're going to leg into an iron condor in a couple minutes. Here's the real Captain Kirk that we might spend some time on today or tonight. You know what? This might be the academic training tonight on FXI, which is the iShares China ETF. Let me get an answer here. I want you to put a D or an ND, not Notre Dame. I want to see a D if you think we get a deal, or I want you to write ND if we get a no deal. Go. Deal or no deal? Let me grab my glasses. D. Oof. ND. There's like voting blocks. D, but when? Okay, good one. Wow. Anecdotally, I should have put that in as a poll. Anecdotally, you know what? Shit, watch this, man. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that in as a poll, but here's what I'm going to do instead of wasting time and putting it in as a poll is last night, guys, offer that I put out last night goes away. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's open up the rest of the full throttle slots. Here we go. Let me brief you on this real quick, and then we're going to talk China and deal or no deal. Here's our full throttle memberships, folks. We have monthlies. The annual memberships are written on this page right here. These are annuals. If you want to do everything that we do here at Top Gun Options except the solo Amazon, it's right there. It's $29.95 a year. If you want to do everything we do here and weekly options, it's called offensive, and it's $24.95. Defensive, you get everything that we do here, but you also get accelerated retirement. So I'm going to tell you right now that 85% of our current members are in the max afterburner package. Okay, so $29.95 for a year, $24.95 for that and weekly options, or $19.95 for defensive. Before anybody asks a question, I'm going to say, yeah, you can always upgrade. Hey, Wiz, I'm going to start with the defensive track and upgrade to max. Knock yourself out. In order to get to the monthly, and everything's written on here. I'm not going to read all the marketing crap on here. Everything's on here, folks. Here's your training schedule. Here's the manuals. All you have to do if you want a monthly, it's obviously cheaper, ladies and gentlemen, and more cost effective to do an annual membership, but click on that big image there, and it's right there. Everything is on this page right here. Okay, so that is the page, and you can go in there and go get it. All right, so let me get back to what we're doing real quick. And actually, let me make sure give me 1 second here. Let me call my techie, make sure he's got that. We got to make sure that other thing's down. Hang on 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that, guys. No, I wanted to make sure because the offer, like I said, I'm a man of my word. The offer that we had last night, I want down because if you didn't take last night's offer, you're on this one. All right, so here we go. So yeah, here is the link to grab your annual or monthly subscriptions. Oops, hang on a second. It's go.topgunoptions.com/getft. Yeah, guys, obviously you can try it for a month or a couple months and then give us a call and upgrade into an annual membership. As a businessman, I'd love for you to be in an annual membership for the next 20 years. As your wingman and a good dude, I'd tell you to buy the annual and save a little money. So yeah, everything's on the page here, guys. $29.95 for Full Throttle Max. 85% of the people that are in this room right now, you're in this room right now with about 220 members. There's about 220 members in this primary live trade brief service. And I'd say about, what's that? 200, about 200 of those people are in the Full Throttle Max, either monthly or annual. If you want to do accelerated retirement, I'm a little bit more conservative, Wiz. I do the $19.95 or the offensive is weekly options. Okay, and we'll talk about all that stuff in a little bit. All right. Yeah, go.topgunoptions.com/getft. Get Full Throttle. And as I told you last night, you're locked in at whatever rate you pay. There are people here that have been here. We've been around for almost 10 years. There are people paying $495 for a year. And I still, well, it's cool because I get Christmas cards and I get bottles of 1942 because I'm a man of my word. Whatever rate you pay now, if you're here 5 years from now and it's 10 grand, you're paying that rate. So I can't stand when businesses do that. It was in the fine print somewhere that price increases. Oh, guess what? I'll go find more people. Isn't that cool? That's a great deal. So yeah, man, absolutely. Welcome aboard. Yeah, you bet. Oh, what I said. Nope, Jimmy. That special was for last night, man. It said on about 5 slides. This brief only, tonight only, and so yeah. So now make sure you watch the replay, and you can see that I said all that stuff. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So we're going to take a look at some of our existing positions, but this is why do I have Jan 21 up here on this slide? That's because I'm going to show you, yeah, that's what we'll do tonight. I'm going to show you how you can be using options. You can be long-term bullish on something 2 years out into the future, man. Jan 2021, we can be, and actually with Amazon, let's take a look at the Amazon options chain. We are bullish on Amazon. You ready for this? We hopped in our Super Hornet, and we can go the speed of light, sound, all the way out to what? June of 2021, folks. Write this down on May 21st at 1:18 p.m. Wiz Buckley said this. By June of 2021, Amazon is a $4,000 stock. Period. Over under, right? A lot of things can go wrong. A lot of things can go right, but easily a $4,000 stock. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, here you go. So, sorry about that. This is yeah, here you go. So this is the membership page. My apologies, guys. Wanted to show my techie something, and I want to make sure. Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh, here's what I was showing. So the sector targeting right here. And then I said, Amazon, we can hop in our time machine and go all the way out to, see this? It says June of 2021. We can be long-term bullish on Amazon all the way out to that point. Isn't that awesome? So everybody should be seeing, I see it right now. I got your screen up and my screen. That's my mistake. Okay, here we go, folks. So last night I covered how do we conduct our training here at Top Gun Options and our live trade briefs. I love doing Full Throttle just as if you were a member. You're joining 200 or so other folks in here. I'm going to treat you just like you are a member already. So here we go. SOT, strategic, operational, and tactical. I'm going to give you a strategic brief, talk about what's going on around the globe that can reach out and touch us. We're going to get operational and talk about what's going on here in the United States, domestically, politically, militarily, and then we're going to get tactical and we're going to trade. I'm going to blast out a text alert, a trade alert, so you can see all this stuff. Going to have a lot of fun in our time together. Yeah, exactly, Harry. Let me pull this up and get this loaded. Yeah, a little bit of a rebound rally today, man. A lot of, but the smoke has not cleared, so to speak. Let me push that, and then we're going to come over to here. Yes, sorry. I always when people, hey, is what you said true that it's only for the deals for last night? That's exactly what it was. So the current full throttle agreements is on the screen. That's what you need to be getting for your full throttle slot moving forward. All right, strategic brief. Let's get going. My old boat, the USS Abraham Lincoln, is in the just outside of the Strait of Hormuz, in the Arabian, outside the Strait of Hormuz, not in the Arabian Gulf. Remember, we call it the Arabian Gulf. We don't call it the Persian Gulf. You call it the Persian Gulf if you're Iranian, and we're not too buddy-buddy with Iran right now. If you grab a copy of my book, which I'll sign for you gladly, you can read about how I almost shot down an Iranian helicopter that was flying right at the USS Abraham Lincoln. Almost blew this guy out of the sky. We have always been in a near war with Iran. Now this is a power that says not only death to America, and do we want to kill as many of you as we can, but we're going to get nukes. We're going to get nuclear weapons. You're going to love us when we get nukes. How many people, how many soldiers and Marines have been killed in Iraq from Iran? Here comes my soapbox, folks, because it makes me furious. Can anybody tell me? Leonard, Harry, you guys got it because you guys are members and you know this. People are, what are you talking about? Soldiers and Marines killed in Iraq from Iran. Under 8 years of President Obama, the Pentagon was ordered. What do you do in the Pentagon? When you're a soldier, a Marine, an airman, a coastie, you salute when you're told to do something. Under President Obama, the Pentagon was prohibited from disclosing combat casualties or deaths from Iran. And I'm pausing for effect because most of you who aren't members on this webinar didn't know that. Under this president, the Pentagon is now allowed and is disclosing that over 600, as of the military, man, my ad blocker's on, 603, as of that article, soldiers and Marines. Look at this headline, folks. This is April 4th, 2019. Look at the headline. Iran killed more U.S. troops in Iraq than previously known. What do you mean than previously known? We knew it. They weren't allowed to report it. Makes me want to vomit. So, I love talking to people when I say we should not. We gave Iran, not we, the president, the former president of the United States, gave Iran $1.5 billion. And then people who absolutely disgust me, you know what they say? They say it was their money, Wiz, it was seized. So let me get this straight. You want to give billions of dollars back to a regime who has sworn to kill as many of us as possible. And most of the people I talk to who respond like that do not know that 608 of our troops have been killed by Iranian forces. Last time I checked, when 608 American troops get killed, it's an act of war. Why didn't President Obama take that billions of dollars and divide it up amongst the 608 husbands, wives, and family members that get a crappy government check every month? Sorry for the rant, but when we, and remember, you're going to learn a lot of wizisms with me, folks. The market only cares when it cares. Right now, last week the market cared a little bit. 2 weeks ago, John Bolton, National Security Advisor, went to the CIA and the Pentagon and said, hey, where's your bomb Iran plan? Oh my God, that's awful. Folks, if you don't think we have a plan to invade Canada. I'm not joking, folks. The Pentagon's job is to plan. So when the commander-in-chief says, I need this done, we don't go, hey, boss, we'll get back to you in a couple days. When I flew my combat missions over Iraq, guess what I was doing most of the time I wasn't flying combat missions over Iraq? I was strike planning against Iran. So, not going to drop anchor on this too much longer. What I'm saying here, folks, is things can go bump in the night. What happened last Monday? Breaking news, 4 Saudi Arabian oil tankers were attacked. What did the U.S. say? Take Alberta first. all my Canadian members are laughing. Folks, Canadian Armed Forces, I love. I flew CF-18s with some guys who are like, dude, we got the same plan to invade America. I'm like, bring it. What I'm getting at is last week, there were people in our media saying what? It's a false flag attack. Can you actually believe that? U.S. drones attacked Saudi tankers to make it look like Iran did at the start of war. Folks, this is where we are, man. This is America today and the media today. John Bolton had U.S. drones attack Saudi Arabian ships so he could start us a war. Why am I ranting about this? Because the market is going to care when it cares. Iran, we're going to close the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM, that would be an act of war. Sometimes, folks, words like this end up being followed up with actions. The volatility index down here at 15 is a joke if something goes boom in the Gulf. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's move on. I admitted to you last night, I said, you want to talk about losing trades? I had a crappy trade a couple weeks ago. After what? Folks, we've been trading the FXI and printing the 82, allow me to round up, 85, about 82.5, folks, in profits in about 9 months of trading the FXI. And in the blink of an eye, I got kicked in the gut with about a $5,000 loss. So, okay, so net, maybe 80 grand in profits trading FXI, the iShares large cap ETF. Why? What happened? Steve Mnuchin, 2 weeks ago, at the front page of the Wall Street Journal said what? I think, and before he got on an airplane flying over to China, I think we're going to wrap this up by the end of next week. Vice Premier Liu was coming over to Washington, and we're good to go. Then what happened? In a Sunday afternoon, the President of the United States said, we're done. We're raising tariffs 25%, and holy shnikes. So we went from, I think we're at the point now discussing what salad dressing the presidents are going to have at Mar-a-Lago, to we're in a full-blown trade war, and China the other day saying, there ain't no rush for another trade talk. Mnuchin, has anybody seen Larry Kudlow lately? Larry Kudlow, Donald Trump's buddy from New York and CNBC, he brought him in to be what? The market whisperer. Anytime there was something, Larry, get out on the White House lawn and talk the market up. We're going to do a trade deal. Everything's great and this and the economy's good. Anybody seen Larry Kudlow? Steve Mnuchin and Larry Kudlow have egg all over their faces. Here is the real reason we are doing anything with China, folks, is this. And this isn't like some anti-Obama session, but I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what happened under President Obama? President Obama said, I'm leaving the Middle East. I'm leaving Iraq. Did anybody listen to the words the man said? He said, I'm going to leave Iraq and do what? Pivot to Asia. I follow all this stuff, folks. I sailed through these waters. I've taken part in the Defense of Taiwan Acts. So the president left Iraq and came home and did nothing. What did China do in 8 years? If this is mainland China, folks, Vietnam, Korea, Philippines, Indonesia, China sailed about 600 miles out into the middle of the Pacific, and at low tide, when a bunch of atolls were sitting there, they dumped a bunch of dirt and they built islands. And they put runways on those islands, and they put missile sites. Now China says, this is China. Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't about a trade war, and trade wars can turn into shooting wars. Quick history lesson. Why did the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor? Or if you watch Animal House a lot, like I do, why did the Germans bomb Pearl Harbor? Why did the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor, folks? Oil. Thank you, everybody. Oil. Franklin Delano Roosevelt embargoed the island nation of Japan against receiving oil, and they attacked the Pacific Fleet. Ladies and gentlemen, at Top Gun Options 3 months ago, I briefed them on a Chinese admiral, essentially their chief of naval operations. What did he say at a press conference? He's like, what trade war? We're looking at sinking an aircraft carrier or two. That'll be 10,000 U.S. sailors and Marines. They'll go home. This is about China's dominance in the Pacific. And oh, by the way, that renegade province known as Taiwan, we're taking it back soon. What did President Trump do? Admiral, or our Admiral, why don't you take a couple of your destroyers and keep sailing through here? Send a couple of B-52s right up these Spratly Islands. And by the way, Taiwan, I approve your request to buy 66 F-16 fighters and a bunch of M1 battle tanks. Folks, this ain't about a trade deal, man. This weekend, what did Chinese state-run media broadcast? Game of Thrones. No, they didn't. They actually turned off Game of Thrones and broadcast anti-American movies. CNBC covering this, folks? Today, or last night, Xi Jinping says China is embarking on a new long march, signaling no end to a trade war soon. Now this gets back to, look at the FXI, folks, the 1-year performance. Look at the 2-year performance. This was, yay, oh crap, trade war. Yay, no, deeper trade war. Here's the potential trade here, folks. So, that's what I wanted to do before I was, yeah, exactly, Paul. That's part of the problem is President Xi, President Putin are what? They're presidents for life. One of the reasons that this thing went the way it went was what? The president heard that the Chinese were saying what? We're going to wait for President Biden. This guy's a little nuts. We're going to stall for 2 years. Wow. So here's what I'm going to do. Because I wanted to do this, I should have done it beforehand. One more. Here we go. You ready? Add one. Trade war, China. Deal. No deal. Save. Launch. Fire. Everybody engage with what you think, and then I'm going to share it with everybody, man. Because, I'm going to share with you the one piece of intelligence that we got. I saw that, Joe, the other day. The Chinese said, hey, we want our pandas back from the San Diego Zoo. That's a good question, Tim. I was going to add a time frame in there. Hang on one second. How about while Trump is president? Let's just say when yeah. All right, so let's take a look at what you all think. Wow, look at this. All right, let's close. This is you guys, man. Close, share. 79% say no deal. Wow. Let's hide that. So, having said that, if for all the no dealers out there, maybe it's time to get even more bearish on China. Stephen, that's a great point. Ladies and gentlemen, up until a couple weeks ago, I said the market is going to implode, not because that we get a trade deal, but because it's not going to be worth the paper it's written on. It's not going to be worth the paper it's written on. The Chinese are hacked into everything. Take a look at their Joint Strike Fighter. It's ours. They're hacked into every Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley account. Over a beer, I'm going to explain to you how they took part in the Heinz 3D Capital and Warren Buffett purchase. The People's Liberation Army trades on this information, folks. So they ain't going to stop stealing our intellectual property, period. They're not going to stop the forced transfer of technology. And ladies and gentlemen, here's the main thing they're definitely not going to do. They're not going to stop subsidizing Chinese businesses to undercut America. This trade deal was never going to be worth the paper it was written on, folks. So we saw this coming. We predicted this. And you know how we knew this? We knew this, folks, literally a month before anybody else. Everybody else didn't know what we knew 6 weeks ago, when the president was walking out to the helicopter and was ripping Jerome Powell a new one. Guy's nuts. Haven't been happy with him since I hired him. He needs raising interest rates. Under Obama, they were cutting. He had near zero interest rates. The Federal Reserve had QE, quantitative easing, $85 billion at one point. Me, they're raising rates. Guy's nuts. He needs to cut rates and do QE. I'm like, oh my God, man. We just had a blistering jobs report. The GDP's on fire. This economy is smoking, and he's asking for it to go in the full throttle, in the max afterburner. What did we say in our live trade brief? I said, folks, I think Donald Trump is trying to place a put underneath this market. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Donald Trump might walk away from the trade deal. And you know what sucks, folks? I don't like being right most of the time, because as an F-18 pilot, as an options trader, I'm Eeyore. I plan for the worst, and when it doesn't happen, I'm pleasantly surprised. Usually, and what was it, 2 years ago, it was around August, I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cash, I'm getting long volatility. I've stopped hearing from a lot of buddies in a big building up in Washington, and when they go dark, that's a big, why? We had 3 carrier strike groups off the coast of North Korea. I can confirm right now, ladies and gentlemen, that Donald J. Trump was going to kill. He had global hawk predators targeting cream of some young guy. We had 3 more iron in the Pacific than since the Battle of Midway. He didn't strike him because the dude caved. He literally wrote him a letter and said, okay, I'll talk. You ain't like everybody else. I usually fire bottle rockets and you come run and give me money. Donald Trump said, I'm going to put a missile right up where the sun don't shine. I was wrong about that. I'm like, folks, he's going to attack. So sometimes I like being wrong. This time we nailed it. Donald Trump went after the Fed chief because he's got 2 boogeymen, folks. It's easy to make the Chinese a boogie. I can't believe Joe Biden is actually running on the China's not a threat and what are you, high? It sounds like Barack Obama telling Mitt Romney the 80s called, they want their foreign policy back, when Mitt Romney said a couple years ago, like, Russia's the enemy. They're the threat. So really weird stuff going on here, folks. All right, let's move on here. Let's get operational. What's going on here in the United States? Hedge funds bet the sell-off is over. The correction has run its course. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you see a headline like this, or the opposite headline, here comes the retail trader, right? The all clear has sounded. That's when you need to take the contrarian. And so here's what, let me explain to you what happened. Does everybody see this rally so back here was Jerome Powell on October 3rd saying, man, we're going to raise rates. The economy's smoking. And the market went through a temper tantrum with the Christmas massacre. Or the Treasury Secretary on the beach in Cabo or wherever he was, Christmas-ish, calling banks and saying, hey, you guys capitalized? Do you need some coin? Holy crap. Since that December bottom, look at this rip your face off rally. Now, non-members aren't allowed to answer. This is for the 400 non-members in the room. Who was the number one buyer of the S&P 500 year to date? Don't answer, members. I know who you guys are. Who was the number one buyer of the S&P 500? Not the Fed. Tell all my members, wait, I know this. Please, ooh. The number one buyer, some of you got it. It wasn't nope, it ain't the Fed. No, it wasn't the Chinese. The number one buyer of the S&P 500 year to date has been the S&P 500. It was not hedge funds, folks. They missed this. Why? Because they got their asses handed to them October, November, December. I have a lot of buddies in the industry, folks. A lot of friends that swing a lot of money. They got obliterated. And I do make up words every once in a while. So they've been sitting on their hands. So this pullback right here, they missed. I showed you some of the screenshots last night from some of my famous headlines that I love collecting. Hedge funds, worst start to a year since 2012. Ackman vows to end 3 years of underperformance. David Einhorn apologizes for doing 1% when the market did 20. Folks, hedge funds are now going to tell me that they're going to come in and buy this market? 70, what was it? What did that poll say? I got short-term memory loss. 70, 80% of you in this room said what? We ain't getting a trade deal. Does anybody believe the market just goes, no trade deal, we're fine, and does that? Or do we see some volatility, or maybe even do, I call the Fred Sanford. I think most of us in this room are old enough to remember Sanford and Son and grab their chest. Thanks, Will, 79%. So that's the other reason last night I wanted to introduce a tactic to you called a trade that also acts like a hedge. Because, folks, when the hedge funds say, here we come, that might be the time to leave. Trust me when I say this. They're the smart money whiz. Folks, I've been there, man. I've been in the boardrooms. I've been in London, New York, Chicago. I've been in a room where I'm like, that dude's known for being brilliant, and he actually sounds like an idiot, or he's wrong in what he's saying. They put their pants, their skirts on the same way we do, folks. They ain't so smart. So don't look at these headlines and go, yeah. All right, more tactical, and then we're going to trade. Operational. U.S. stocks rises. Huawei. I love watching people in the media who don't know what they're talking about trying to pronounce that word. So the president woke up the other day, last week. That's why it's very hard for hedge funds to do what? To trade this market. I guarantee you people sitting in the Hamptons that Sunday afternoon when I was in lovely South Bend in Indiana at the airport, when their phone buzzed and said, holy crap, the president just walked away from the trade deal. Oof. Right? The president, minute to minute, doesn't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. And I got to tell you, that's the sign of a good negotiator. He's got a strategic end. Here's where I want to be. I'm going to shuck and jive to get the best deal for me. So love or hate the guy, folks. Even people that when I bring up the guy's name, their faces melt off and they spit. They're so angry. How can you argue with a guy that's putting the United States of America first? I love when he talks to President Xi, or last time he stood next to me. He's like, I got to be honest with you, dude. Good job. Good job screwing us for 40, 50, 60 years. I would have done the same to you if you let me. You didn't, and now those days are over with. Bush, Clinton, Obama's Bush again. You walked all over us. I would have done. Can't fault you for doing that. Those days are over. So, and I get that chapter 32 of your economics book says, in the end run, consumers pay for a trade war. Name one person in this room that has been impacted by this trade war. You cannot. I can't hear you over a nearly 4% GDP. I can't hear you over consumer confidence that's the highest since 2011. I can't hear you over the jobs reports or the wages. Stop. People that I love watching, I grab my popcorn and watch the financial media. In the end, I'm like, you went to Econ 101 or you heard this on another channel. We are not suffering because of this trade war, folks. Farmers might be, and that sucks. The farmers are the backbone of this country. But the president has said what? Hey, these tens of billions of dollars in tariffs that are coming in, we're going to get that back to the people who need it, the farmers. All right, let's get moving. This is more for our Amazon-only service. Warren Buffett's Berkshire, man. I love this, man. This headline, professionally satisfying to me. We've been in business almost 10 years here at Top Gun Options teaching folks. Warren Buffett, during that 10 years, wasn't in Amazon. We have been. And a couple weeks ago, Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, said, you know what, man, I'm an idiot for not being in Amazon. Well, hopefully you guys aren't, because you're going to be in Amazon too when you get into our Amazon only service. Okay, let's get really tactical. Anything going on this week that I need to worry about? We get a couple Fed lieutenants that spoke. Nothing really happened. Anything China-ish? Nope. Oh yeah. So tomorrow afternoon, folks. So again, tomorrow morning we're going to do AR. We usually do AR Wednesday afternoon. right here, we're going to get the FOMC minutes, the the Federal Reserve open market meetings last minutes. And you see this little red flame. What's that mean? Pretty high impact expected. We're also going to Wednesday and into Thursday, we get a lot of Eurozone stuff. Great Britain, Italy, Germany stuff. China, our 9 a.m. Conference Board's leading index. And then we get manufacturing and services PMI and new home sales. Friday, core durable goods, regular. So the rest of the week, folks, we're not looking at too much big stuff the rest of the week. So, all right. Strategic mindset, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to remind my members and folks that are new, volatile. I went volatile. We were bearish. And then I said, if we don't hold here and get back to the 50, we're going back to the 200-day moving average. Between these moving averages, folks, I like to say is World War I trench warfare. What was it? We Will Never Grow Old, or whatever that World War I movie was that was out recently that colorized it. Wow, it was an incredible movie. Saw it. But trench warfare, nobody wants to run out here and get killed, folks. The moving averages do not. The index, the stock, does not stay between moving averages. It doesn't. First of all, we're human and we like moving averages. Second of all, we're human, and until the machines become self-aware and kill all of us, we program the machines to like moving averages. So look at what we're doing. We're through the 50-day, up above it, through the 50-day. That's what we're going to do. We are going to chop around until when? That's exactly right, Harry. We're going to chop around until when? June 1st. That's a Saturday, Wiz. Well, guess what? Until next Friday, what's going to happen? We're going to chop around. We got a nice rally with the president, Huawei, saying, I'm not going to kick them as hard as I said I'm going to kick them. But we're going to look at volatility. All right, now let's start to get tactical. We'll take a look at positions, but let's take a look at our altimeter, our barometer, our fear gauge, the VIX. Look at what happened back here in March. Little freak out. Okay, that went away. Little freak out. That went away. Nothing at all freaking us out. Wiz, volatility is low. It's going to stay low forever. Holy crap, the president just tweeted something. Folks, volatility returns to its mean, its resting heart rate. For a month and a half, folks, I told my members, I'm like, wait until you see the whites of their eyes, right? Personally, I got long volatility a couple times in here, but with a larger portfolio, you can do that. And as I covered last night, I don't think of when I get long something like volatility or short the market, it's as a hedge. I don't lose money on that. Wiz, that's a negative, that's red on your screen. Look at everything else. It's really green. Yeah, it's an ejection seat. But look at volatility, folks. We peaked, and then we've done what? The VIX has stayed elevated. Volatility can stay elevated for a long period of time here, folks. Why? Because of uncertainty. I briefed you last night. Whenever you see the word volatility, delete and input uncertainty. This is the SIBO Market Uncertainty Index. You ready for this blinding piece of brilliance? When something is known, it's known. When something is known, if June 1st comes and the Chinese say, we're not talking, with Mnuchin, he can stay in Washington, here comes more fire from us. Donald J. Trump is going to return fire and take the tariffs to the next tranche higher, the $350 billion or whatever it is. I'm starting to lose track. So at a minimum, folks, I think, and look at what the VIX did. Let me take a look at a one-year chart. Look at what happened. Look at that, guys. October 3rd, Jerome Powell doing his job as the Fed chief. I think the economy is doing really good. I think we're going to crank up interest rates a little bit. Holy shnikes. What did the VIX do? It stayed elevated and found kind of a resting, not really resting heart rate, but found support. Look at that. Support, support, support. Whoa! Where are we finding support right about now? Back here when the market was going, holy crap, is the Fed serious? And then no, it imploded. Isn't that cool? Take a look at that. So we're definitely, if I don't get to it today, we're definitely going to look at a trade in volatility staying elevated at least. Okay, let's take a look at existing positions in the primary live trade brief model portfolio. That is the get on board page. Let me go to primary live trade brief. So every Tuesday, 1 o'clock, you're in a PLTV. I've gone way long, but please indulge me. All right, let's review what we did last week. We looked to close a bull put spread on EWZ. Look at that one. We closed this last week, an 81% profit in 2 weeks, 1950. So about $2,000, 2 weeks, folks, with EWZ. Then we looked last week at a new bull put spread on EWZ, the 38, 37.5 bull put spread at 15 cents. You ready for that? We were risking about 5,300 to make 2,300. Let's pull up EWZ. We've been trading EWZ, folks, 7 years. World Cup, the Olympics, the election of Bolsonaro. Love the EWZ. Look at this, 4% today. And I was going to look at a bear call spread. Perfect. So look at this trade in 1 week. The 38, 37.5. And somebody in the Ready Room, our forum, posted this. It was, look at this thing, man. The May 31, 38, 37.5. So let's pull up the May 31, 38, 37.5. What a good looking trade. Now we're going to leg into an iron condor. So this trade is up 5. We got filled at around 5 cents, not 5 cents, 15 cents. It's down here at 10, right? So doing political science math, 15 minus 10 is 5. 5 times 150 contracts. 5 times 150 equals. So that trades up about $750 as of right now. For all of my existing members with this trade, this is a hold. And real quick, for all the potential new members, this is what the post looks like after we get done a brief. I upload the screenshot of the trade, and then after the video renders, you can watch the replay right down here at the bottom. But we're going to look at a new one, because we're going to leg into an iron condor. So I think, let's take a look at the chart. Really strong recovery, obviously really strong recovery here. Let's see this red line. That's the 50-day moving average, right up there at about 41. And then this right here, this white line is what we call the Keltner channel. And this is right at the middle of their Keltner channel. All right, so I'm going to look right now. This trade, this one trade, and you have to watch the replay from last night, folks, on this page, because I talk about having an SOP, a standard operating procedure. Our SOP at Top Gun Options here for a $50,000 example model portfolio, don't want to risk more than 5% or $5,000 on any one trade. Okay, but I'm going to offset this risk even more today by doing a tactic called an iron condor. And I'm going to leg into it. Legging into an iron condor simply means that I already have an existing spread. This 38, 37.5 is down here. 30, let me just draw the line right here. 38 is right there. Let me just put a little line here. So we have the 38, 37.5. That's me saying, hey, EWZ, by next Friday, I don't think you're going to be below 38. And I actually think it's going to stay. This thing's going to run out of speed. I mean, this is a rip your face off rally on oil. A lot of good news speech that Bolsonaro gave, and emerging markets recovering after the president's Huawei holding fire. Everybody should have their trade plan out. I already gave you step 1, my strategic mindset. What is my big overall strategic mindset? I'm volatile. Not me personally. Well, maybe. Volatile to market neutral. Our target, step 2 in that trade plan, is what are we going to target? We're targeting the EWZ. Commit criteria, I just more or less gave it to you. I believe that the EWZ, after this rip your face off bottom rally here, is going to stay range bound by next Friday. Commit criteria, 3 to 5 sentences as to why you're going to commit capital to this trade. Step 4 in our trade plan is, what is the tactic? Well, I currently have a bull put spread on down here, which means I don't think this thing's going to come back down again. But I also think this rip your face off rally is going to run out of speed, so I'm going to put a cap on it, so to speak, and sell a tactic called a bear call spread. Well, you're bearish on it. No. So folks, if I put a spread up here, what did I just kind of do? I'm saying that this thing's going to stay in a range out to next Friday. So let's go. So that's the tactic, is called a bear call spread. Step 5 in our trade plan is the tactical employment. So I'm going to bring up my options chain. The calls are on the left, the puts are on the right. I use E-Trade to teach. And if you watched the presentation last night, if you're a veteran or a first responder, I told you exactly where you should trade. I don't get a kickback. I don't get paid from them. I just think they're doing a really decent thing by being very patriotic. So watch the replay in case you didn't see it. So if we look at the 40 and a half bear call spread, that's probably a little aggressive. Let's take a look at the 40. Let's go right up to the 50. I love it. Let's go up to the 50-day moving average, which was where? 40 and a half, Wiz. Actually, it's 41, but that's pretty damn close, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the 40 and a half, 41 bear call spread. So let me build the trade. This is the tactical employment part of the trade plan. Ladies and gentlemen, so this trade plan used to be on my knee board in my cockpit. Used to trade in your cockpit? No. The structure of that trade plan is exactly the same mission flow that I would do flying the F-18. And I've tweaked it a little bit for Wall Street. You ready? Here's the tactical employment. I'm going to sell 150 contracts of the May 31, 40 and a half calls. Right? Why 150 contracts? Give me 2 minutes. Why May 31st? I explained it. Why the 40 and a half calls? I explained it. Sell 150 of the May 31, 40 and a half calls. Okay, Wiz, I get that. What if you're wrong? What if Bolsonaro holds a press conference tomorrow and announces he's Jesus Christ reincarnate and turns water into wine and has a big party? Great for the world. I'm happy. The EWZ is going to have a rip your face off rally. Okay, well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to buy what we call upside calls to limit our loss. We're long the EWZ above 41 in case there is some sort of, between now and next Friday, rip your face off rally. This, I'm neutral to bearish on EWZ. I'm using calls and it's a spread. This tactic is called a bear call spread. For those of you relatively new to options, look down here. It's also called what? A credit spread. And it's also, obviously, it's a vertical spread too. But I call it by what its tactic is, a bear call spread. Now, as I started talking about this trade, mid-market was 13 cents, and all my members started getting into it, and they've already pushed it down a penny. You jerks. No, it's great. So this was at 13 cents. I'm going to look to get filled on this trade plus or minus a penny. I'm going to, after I get off here, I'm going to go try and get filled at 13. But the lowest I'd go is 12, and the highest I'd go is 14 for today only. You have to join. You have to become a member, because in my full throttle training, I'm going to tell you why, if it's outside of this range, it's either too cheap or too expensive for my taste. Okay? I am going to grab a screenshot of this trade because I'm going to send it out to my members who are here or aren't here. It doesn't matter. You're all going to get an email with this trade in about 3 minutes. EWZ, save as EWZ with today's date, 5/21. All right. So that's the screenshot. Now, like I talked about last night, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to click on a button, and I want all of you in this room, nearly 1,000 people in this room, to look at one place and one place only, and that is the mad or the sad face. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Right here, max potential loss. The max potential loss in this trade is about $5,600. But no, it isn't. Okay, dude, what are you lying to me? It says it right on the screen. If I just did this trade, the risk is 56 to make 2. But hold on, Wiz. You already have on a bull put spread. You got that straight. So the max risk in this trade isn't $5,600. I'm going to show you what it actually is, because look at me, folks. There's no way the EWZ by next Friday has a rip your face off rally and it implodes. It's physically impossible. So if you're going to lose, quote unquote, you can only lose on one of these spreads, not both. So I'm going to show you what the entire trade looks like, but let's review our metrics. And look at this. The trade's already running away from me to the downside as you guys pound this. Damn it, I should have looked at the volume just to prove a point here. Wow, look at the volume and open interest. So you guys are pounding this thing lower. Thanks. See, and this is what's funny. I end up getting worse fills than my members. So look at this. As I briefed you last night, you're the pilot in command of your portfolio. You look at this and go, Wiz, I'm the pilot in command. I acknowledge that risk. That is based on 150 contracts. Wiz, what are you, smoking crack? I don't want to risk $5,600. Not smoking crack. It's not 5 o'clock yet. Just, heroin. Look, 150 contracts equals $5,600 in risk. Man, I want to risk $2,200. 75 contracts. Wiz, I'm rich and I don't mind risking 10 grand. 300. It ain't rocket surgery, folks. I'm a political science major. You're getting the eavesdrop on what I would potentially do. Okay? Now that we've acknowledged this risk, we can pick our beautiful blue eyes up here and say, max potential profit, 2 grand. And look at this, using at the money volatility in EWZ options, there's a 74% probability in 2 weeks, a week and a half-ish, of making 2 grand. Yep. Look at this, guys. There's nearly a 76% probability of at least breaking even. Let me grab a screenshot of this. I'm going to send out a screenshot, a text alert, and we're going to move. We're having fun. I'm going to also show you what the overall iron condor looks like, because for all you sitting there, and whoever was that, Michelle, somebody asked earlier, like, if I don't have the current bull put spread on, would you do a new one today? The answer would be yes. And if we have time, we're going to look at that. I got to cruise, though. Reminder, with a bear call spread, you make money 3 out of 4 times with this trade. Hell, Wiz, you're telling me I got 75% probability of max profit and 75% of the time these trades make money? Yeah. You ready? Here's how. You see that blue line right here? That blue line is the current price of EWZ. How do we make money, Uncle Wiz? Let me tell you, son, daughter, EWZ goes down. Okay? Noted. EWZ can kind of hang out where it is. You make money. Okay, 2 out of 4 ways. EWZ, folks, can even go up a little bit as long as it stays below the break even of 40.63, which is what? Above the middle of the Keltner channel and under the 50-day moving average. Nice looking trade. Now, I'm not going to bore you, and I saved the boring you for the training sessions, right? But guess what we get in this trade every second that I'm talking to you if you're filled on it? Theta. Now, I know in other places they'll give you an 8-hour lecture on theta, which is stupid. When I flew the F-18 Hornet, the flight control systems, some of the dudes that built the flight control systems didn't even know how they worked. I got to be honest with you. So when I went to my flight control lecture, a pilot gave it, and he walked in. You know what he did? He took a red pen, and on the whiteboard, he put a big circle, a big red circle, and he pushed it. He put his hand on the board, and he said, that's the I believe button. That's how the F-18 flight controls work. Anybody got any questions? And we're like, we have all these big flight control manuals. He's like, good. Now let's talk about killing, shooting down MiGs and dropping bombs. And that was the lecture. Here's what I'm getting at. I have 16 hours worth of lectures on the Greeks. You don't need it. But let's take a look at the one Greek in this trade that is interesting. It's called theta. It's time decay. In this tactic that I just showed you, a bear call spread, we're selling something. We're selling a bear call spread. What happens when you sell something? From my perch up here on the 29th floor, I can see the right there, Fort Lauderdale Ferrari dealership. It looks the way it looks, folks, because it sells Ferraris. If you go in there, have your little midlife crisis and pull out 250 grand lighter, and then you get on I-95 and your significant other calls and says, hey, your midlife crisis is over, go drop that thing back off. They'll buy it back from you, folks, for what? About 200 grand. It's called theta. It's called time decay. If you've ever bought a car, as soon as you pulled out of that dealership, you knew it. You felt it. You're like, Dad, damn it. Watch what happens to theta as this trade goes forward between now and next Friday. You ready? Keep your eyes down there. I'm in my time machine going forward. Hey, next week's fun. It's fun. I'm in the Caribbean. Yay. You make money every day that goes by. As a matter of fact, if EWZ doesn't move, unched equals, that's the Greek theta. Unchanged on the day equals time decay. If EWZ is unchanged tomorrow, it just sits there, cha-ching. The next day, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Even if it's going up or down, you're making money on theta. This is why I like to be a seller of options. When you buy options, folks, debit. Right? First, I don't even like the word debit. Oh, it's a debit spread, debit ATM. I did. You lose money on theta, folks. Even if you're making money in the trade with that, you're potentially losing money. Okay? So here's what I'm going to do. This is the time where I stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody, look what's going down. No, this is when I go over to my campaign builder. And if you're sitting in death by meeting on Tuesday afternoons, you're about to get a text alert from Uncle Wiz and an email, and we're going to time it. I'm going to send the email, and I'm going to send the text alert. And as I'm, this is kind of doing some booger eating behind the scenes here. You know what? I think I have all you guys in here that registered. Let me do that because all my members are in here as well. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send this out to the people, everybody that registered. So you ready for this? I'm gonna be a good guy here. PLTB new. So let me share my screen. At the beginning of the text alert, I always put the portfolio that this alert's coming from. PLTB primary live trade brief. WO weekly options. AYT and D analyze your trade and debrief. PLTB new EWZ bear call spread legging into iron condor. I'm going to paste the trade in there from the brokerage platform. It's a 13-cent credit, plus or minus a penny. I said maybe eject out of the trade if it's going against you at what? Somebody tell me. Who's one of my new members who listened to me last night? It is going to cost me, Harry. These texts aren't cheap, but I'm going to show people that we're good here at Top Gun Options. You double the credit that you take in. If this thing starts going up in value, that's bad. Good job, Mary Jane, Frank. Yep. Double the credit that I take in. Okay. So, oops. Iron Condor. So 150 contracts is what we're looking at. What expiry? It's the May 31, and it's called expiry. The act of it is called expiry, not expiration. We're going to sell the 40.5 calls, and we're going to buy the 41 calls, the upside calls. Okay. Oop. Let me see if I got all that right. Let me delete this since I already have a 13-cent credit. All right, sweet. There's the text. Now, copy. We're going to go over here, and I'm going to send you all. And thank you for being conscious of that. Harry's like, dude, this is going to cost you a lot of money. I'm like, yeah. This is why, I always talk about limiting the amount of free full throttle stuff that we put out there, man, because this stuff actually costs me money. Okay, full throttle, PLTB, new, EWZ, bear, beat, bear, call, spread. PLTB and potential new full throttle members. Let me paste the text in there. Say new. So even though you're going to get a text and before anybody starts freaking out, as soon as I press fire, if you did not on the registration page give us your cell phone number, you ready for this? You're not going to get the text alert. I guarantee you, even though I just said that, about 50 people in this room after I blast this out are either going to type their number in there or say they didn't get it. Sorry. So here's the registration page, folks. You see this right here? It says optional cell number for trade alerts. If you didn't give us your cell phone number, and we don't, I don't call you, I don't spam any, this is why we did it, was for this. So please don't type in the chat box like, I didn't get the trade alert. You ain't going to get it if you didn't do it. And actually, let me just blast this because we have to get into the Iron Condor here. All right. Publish. So yeah, Michelle, if I don't go super long here, I will take a look at a potential new bull put spread in EWZ, but we got to look at CSX and some other stuff. We have some other good trades working that we got to do. All right, so I published it. Now we're going to go to campaigns. I'm going to find all my contacts right there. And then, yeah, we'll take a look at the CSX and some other stuff. We are looking at oops, hang on. Is that the right one? Yeah. Right, let me breadcrumb back to make sure that's the right one here. We need to CRM contacts. Make sure I'm sending it to the right list. Here, guys, sorry. Okay, perfect. All right, let me, yep, that's it. Holy crap. That's a lot of, well, drinks on me, guys. That's a lot. Everybody see that? 4,200 people. Oh, man. Where are we? Up here. It was the solo. There we go. Save and then blast. All right. Cha-ching. Here we go. Let's go to all right, let's go back to our brief here. Let's go to the week before, primary live trade brief. More EWZ profits, man. EWZ's been our Jurgen, if you gave me your cell phone number, man, you should get a text alert. That looks obviously like a foreign number. Hopefully everything's right in your country code and all that good stuff. So on the 7 May session, we closed another Brazil spread for max profit, and then we got into a CSX iron condor. We have to talk about CSX. We looked at the 80, or you know what? Let me finish with this, guys, because some of you are asking about the here's what the full iron condor would look like with EWZ. So let me add the bull put spread here, guys, just because I want to show you the power of this fully operational Death Star. No, the power of an iron condor, folks. Instead of, holy crap, Wiz, you're risking $5,600. Nope. It was the 39.38.5, right? So let me refresh my memory. We're going to sell those puts, buy those. Right around 15 cents. Okay, here we go. So watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Watch what I'm about to. 38.37.5. Thanks, man. 38.30. That's even better. 38.37.5. Thank you for being a good wingman. Good. Okay. Wow. What a beautiful looking trade. Hang on a second. Let me close that window. Oh, hey. And by the way, look at this, guys. Everybody see my screen? And my phone buzzed about a minute ago, and I ignored it. Everybody see this right here? When I pressed send, look at this, 0 minutes ago. When I pressed send, this immediately ended up in my inbox. There's the text alert at the top. There's a screenshot of the bear call spread. There's a screenshot of the metrics. And there, everybody see the everybody take a look at the camera. There's your text alert. There it is. Everybody see that? So there's your fully operational Death Star. All right, real quick though, look at this. Whiz, man, risking $5,500 to make $2,000? No, we're not. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the full trade on the screen. This is what the full Iron Condor would look at. Okay, Wiz, well, you said the bull put spread was risking about 5,300, and this one's risking about 5,500. Man, I'm doing math. That's $10,800 in risk. No, it's not. If you did that math or you looked at it like that, you need to sign up because you don't know what an Iron Condor is. You ready for this? Instead of $10,800 in risk with those two trades, you are risking $4,000. It ain't, I know my call sign's Wiz, but I'm not like a wizard or sorcerer. Folks, you cannot lose on both trades. Physically impossible. Bull put spread, bear call spread. The worst case scenario is EWZ implodes, EWZ explodes. But it can't do both. So everybody give me a vertical head nod that makes sense. It lowers your risk. Look at this. The one spread. So whoever just asked, like, would you do the bear call spread by itself, just a standalone trade? No. Why would you risk $5,600 or whatever it was when you could risk 43? And if you're risking 56, we're going to potentially make what? $2,000. With the Iron Condor, folks, you're risking 44 to make 32. Isn't this awesome? Good. I can tell some kind of maybe new folks that are going this is a great tactic, folks, and it's a great tactic for what? For this market when we're volatile to neutral and chopping around. Very, very awesome tactic. You know what? Yeah, I hate putting more content like in the replay email to confuse people. Like, I don't even know what a put or a call is, and this guy's throwing around terms like Iron Condor. Folks, I didn't hatch as a Navy fighter pilot, and I didn't hatch as an options trader, man. This is doable. It's learnable. You can do this, man. There's people in this room right now. Harry, Tamara, Steve, Amy, Rebecca, folks that didn't even know what an option was when they showed up, and now they're Jedi masters trading, advanced stuff. So this, give it a shot. EWZ Iron Condor 520. Okay. All right. So that is we got an Iron Condor working now on, not CSX, EWZ. Let's go back. Let's talking about CSX. Here's the CSX Iron Condor. We have the 80.5, 81 bear call spread, and the 77, 76.5 bull put spread. Let's bring up CSX. I brought up CSX last night and why I love it. It's one of our Jan 21 core positions. Take a look at that. Okay. So, great Iron Condor candidate. Good looking climb schedule. It's going up and to the right a little bit, but it's hanging out here. 80, I need a better memory. 80.5, 81. And that's the 24th. That's this week, man. 80.5. This is, I don't even need to do the math, folks. We don't even need to look at the trade. This trade is at max profit. I would, we're at, what's it at right now? It's at about 4 cents. So 24 times 150. 24 times 150 contracts. This trade is up $3,600 in 2 weeks. Fred, we'll talk about that in full throttle training. You absolutely could do that. You could do dollar-wide strikes to lessen the commission if you're at a broker that kind of puts you over a barrel and screws you on the per commission stuff. Yeah, Fred, we'll talk about that in training. So, ladies and gentlemen, men lie, numbers don't. Here's the CSX Iron Condor we covered 2 weeks ago that is currently up $3,600. Now, we talked about pigs getting slaughtered last night. No one's gone broke taking a profit. What's the potential max profit in this trade? $43.50. So $43.50 Oh, I'm sorry, 43.50 is, and we're up 3,600 as of me talking. 83%. Steve Miller, go on, take the money and run. I would close this trade for an 83%, $3,600 gain in 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, with that Iron Condor, Uncle Wiz paid for your full throttle max membership. One trade. Go da da ba 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 ba. Yep. So everybody sees over here, right there. Let me make sure my techie. It looks like he was out running around. Okay. So everybody see this right here? Full throttle max for a year is $29.95. That CSX trade made $3,600. I paid for a 1-year membership and put $600 in your pocket for the weekend like a drunk sailor. Everybody see that? Everybody give me a vertical head nod. Isn't that awesome? Love what we're doing here. We're having a really good time, man. Oh, good. And my techie, he did what I asked. He was supposed to take down last night's offer. Here it is, folks. Full throttle defensive, offensive, and max. The annual memberships are on the screen. When you click on this image, this thing right here is one big image. Watch. There's the monthly. $295 a month, $245, or $195 a month. Okay. You know what? Let me just put this page in the chat box. I don't have to like hunt around for it. Obviously, a lot cheaper, and you save money by doing the annual memberships. But you can do month to month, and they're down here. Okay. So there you go. All right, CSX. So actually, let me annotate that because we need to keep track of all this stuff. So we need to edit post. You bet. Yeah. Well, hopefully that. What's the Iron Condor looking like? The Iron Condor's looking like maybe $4,000 by next Friday. All right. Update. 5/21. Oops, sorry about that. Close CSX Iron Condor for 83% / 30. Good. Well, some of you might have gotten a better price. A couple of people are up $4,200 for 83%, $3,600 profit in 2 weeks. Boom. Love it. Okay. Good looking trade. Let me update that. MJ, I can't tell you what account size to start with. I can tell you that most brokers, first of all, you should paper trade. You should always paper trade. You should always go to the simulator building before you ever hop into a real jet. But most brokerage firms allow you to open an account with as little as $1,000. And I think most brokerages that I know of, if you want to trade on margin, you need at least $2,000. But so you can get started with as little as $2,000, MJ. So. And you can always get in the ready room on the member page and ask other folks, what they're doing as well. Remember, if I'm doing, for training, we're looking at, a medium-sized account. You just scale the contracts, right? We have 2 billionaires here at Top Gun Options who obviously shall remain nameless. Of course, they have people who manage their money, but they like trading here because they love the thrill and the kill of it. We have, retired guys or 80, 90-year-old guys. I have coaching clients, retired, old. So we have everybody, large, small, medium-sized accounts. So yeah, MJ, it's up to you. Really, really can't give you that type of specific investment advice, but we got everybody, and we have, like I said the other night, 39 countries represented here at Top Gun Options. We got dudes, Graham in Australia and down under. So we have it takes all kinds. All right, let's take a look at a couple new or other positions, existing positions, and like I said, we're going to do some training tonight, and we should be good to go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let me get back to our page, our member page. Let's go 3 weeks back. So we did the last 2 weeks of trading and reviewed our open positions. Okay, Mark, I might have hit the wrong button, man. It went out. So we can look into it, but you're here live, so I wouldn't worry about it. That was a one-time blast for 4,000 other people that are potential members here. So the week before was when we did the CSX bull put spread, and that the week after that we legged into the Iron Condor with that. So that was CSX. EWZ, FXI. That was the losing trade that I told you about. Oh my God, yeah, man. We've been crushing it with FXI, absolutely crushing it. I put on a burner trade. When you lose on a trade like that, folks, you have to laugh. Wiz, you laugh at losing money? Yeah, when you look at this, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin suggests China trades could wrap up by the end of next week. If you place a bullish trade based on what the Treasury Secretary says and it goes against you, that's okay, man. That's when you go, well, shit. And then you move on to the next one. So yeah. All right. So that was the week before that one. Now, speaking of FXI, this ain't a bullish looking chart. Holy shnikes, literally bounced right off the bottom of that Keltner. That's a dead cat bounce, and then lower here. If you believe that FXI is going to head lower, we could do a couple things. You could buy some put. You could just do kind of a straight put buy. And guys, I'm getting some members emailing me like, "Hey, I didn't get the alert." Folks, if you didn't like opt into this full throttle, that's the problem. So, and you guys went through this when you guys were rushing to be a member here. So, if you're here in the brief, you saw it live, and I'm going to post the trade here, obviously, when we get done. But let's take a look at some potential. What time is it? Man, damn, I went way too long. You know what? At a very minimum, Michelle, and I know about 50 of you asked what the new bull put spread would be if you're not in the EWZ one. I mean, this is look at the bottom right there at that 30 probably 37. So for those of you who, well, and I guess a lot of the folks that are maybe new to full throttle and looking at it, let's take a look at the 37.5. 37 bull put spread. Oh man, there ain't that much premium in that. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to probably do the 38. It would be this one, Michelle. The 38, 37.5 would be the bull put spread I would add or do if you didn't have the other one on. We've been doing really, really, really well with EWZ. And here's what's awesome. I'm going to teach you, and we'll talk about this stuff tonight over a glass of wine and just hanging out. Wiz, that looks like an awful chart. I don't care. We've been printing money, bear call spread, bull put spread, iron condor, bear call spread, bull put. Folks, we're long-term bullish out to January of 2021 on Brazil. Love or hate Bolsonaro, he's Trump. He's the Trump of the tropics. Talks like him, has the same policies, wants to reform pensions, wants to reform the judicial system. If you believe that Bolsonaro is at least not going to get arrested down in Brazil, and the market, I'm down here in South Florida, we're coming out with a Miami stock exchange. I got a lot of buddies who trade the Bovespa, which is the Brazilian stock exchange. They at least believe that that's going to happen, that Bolsonaro, at least the market is going to react at least like it did under Trump's first year and a half. So this is a perfect example of, look at the 6-month chart of EWZ. Flat, 0.5%. Folks, trading options, we've been printing money trading EWZ for 6 months, right? That's the key to being an options trader. That's why I had a cocktail party where some guy's like, I bought the EWZ on Bolsonaro. You know, I thought it was going to go up and the thing's been moving sideways. I'm not making any money. That's when you chime into the conversation and go, I've been printing money with this thing going sideways. That's what I'm going to teach you. With trading options, folks, you can potentially make money no matter if it's going up, down, or sideways. And that's the power of options. We're going to talk about that tonight in our training. and I'll explain more about options trading. But it sounds like a lot of you have kind of a working knowledge of options, which is a good thing. But we'll talk about maybe tonight about jumping in our time machine and going all the way out there. Benoit, uh, ba, 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 ba. Remind me how you manage the exit of a spread running against you with the risk of assignment. Benoit, perfect segue at 2:30 in the afternoon. That is going to be my hook to get everybody into tonight's full throttle training. Why don't we talk about spreads tonight and managing them, okay? Because I actually have a coaching call coming up here at 3 o'clock. Or Deb, I think I answered you. But I don't want to go too long. I went long last night. We're supposed to go for an hour and a half. It's 2:30, and I want to put the bomb right through the bullseye. Printed money with CSX, folks. $3,600 in 2 weeks on limited risk. Legged into an iron condor on EWZ. It's looking great. Bull put spread's looking good. The bear call spread's looking good. Really, really solid trade on EWZ. We covered what's going on strategically in the market with Iran, what's going on with the trade war with China, what's going on here domestically in the United States, and kind of our strategic mindset. Tomorrow, we definitely have got to talk about volatility. We spent a lot of time today talking about the VIX and how, look at it, it's staying elevated. Usually when the market freaks out about something, oh my goodness, okay, that's over with. And we go on our way, little freak out, it's over with. Little freak out, it's over with. Whoa, trade war, how long is this going to last? So I definitely want to get a trade in on volatility tomorrow. And some other good stuff. But yeah, let me just remind everybody, my techie did fix it. Last night's offer went away. And here's what we got to do. If you want to be a full throttle max member for a year, annual membership is $29.95. That's 85% of our current members. Some other folks do. This is just access to one less service. These are just access to one less service, whether it's weekly options or accelerated retirement. Everything on the right's the full Monty. When you click on that image, this big image right here, it takes you to the monthlies. Okay? Takes you to the monthly memberships. $190, the cheapest thing you can get in to full throttle for is $195 a month, all the way up to $295. Obviously, the $295 a month is monthly, and it gets you into all of those trading services Monday through Thursday, all the full throttle trading services. So tonight at 7, we're going to do some training. I'm probably going to do a long-term bullish trade because a lot of you have been asking about that. Before I go, what is the Death Star doing today? I haven't looked at my Death Star since I jumped on the air. Oh, good. Skimming right along. Look at Amazon, folks. Recovering nicely, finding support right along the 50-day moving average here. I like that. Amazon is showing a little bit more immunity. I'm happy about that with this trade war. Amazon, remember, folks, 2-3 weeks ago, what did Jeff Bezos do? We're done. Out of China. We ain't even going to try. JD and Alibaba, you can have China. I don't want to be third anywhere. Where did Jeff Bezos, when he bailed out of China recently, where did he go? Where is Jeff Bezos targeting Amazon's firepower? And it's a smart move. Joe got it. Quentin got it. India. Jeff Bezos is going to India, man. He would rather be a big fish in a small pool than a small fish in a very big pool in China. Amazon ain't, it was a tactical retreat. Everybody remember like those Windows XPs things that would pop up that says task failed successfully? I think that's what Amazon did in China. Task failed successfully, meaning they ain't done with China. They're just going to regroup. They're going to go take India over first, and then Amazon will absolutely be back in China. So we're gonna talk about that. So yeah. Oh, I agree, Rick and William. I absolutely agree with that. So all right, guys. So monthly memberships are available. Annual memberships are available. The deal from last night is not available. I gave it a shot to see how it would work out. It did, but it also cost me money. So we're done with that deal. And then the 4,000 emails and text alerts I just sent out, I'm going to go have to eat some ramen noodles for lunch here. No, I'm kidding. I do that, folks, to demonstrate the power of what we do. You joined us for a pseudo live trade brief with a lot of members in here. To my regular members, You guys were one of them once, so I appreciate your indulgence as we talk to them, and I try and help those folks out as too and get them on board. Like I've told you folks, we got a lot of people who end up becoming lifelong friends here. We have we try and do some live events every once in a while. Miami, Lake Tahoe. We got to get up to the Miami of Canada, Chicago. I love Chicago. Get back there soon. Definitely want to do something out in California, and we're gonna have fun. Okay. Jurgen, he absolutely said that. He said what? Jeff Bezos said Amazon is going to go out of business. That was probably the most refreshing thing that guy said. Amazon will be a $10, $20, $30,000 stock before it ever goes out of business. But Jurgen, what's the point? What's the point? Nothing is permanent. This live trade brief, my life, this rally, the Trump presidency, the world, nothing lasts forever. I love a CEO who's honest like that. Amazon is going to fail, folks. Modern whip, of California. What's that car doing going down the street? Everything fails, guys. Everything fails. Of course Amazon's going to fail. It ain't going to fail in my lifetime, Jurgen. That's the point. So we're going to print money, and hopefully it doesn't fail in my two sons' lifetimes when they take over trading for me. Right? Exactly. Sears, Lucent, Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers. Companies fail. Right now, it would be physically impossible for Amazon to go out of business. They own real estate. They're putting. Did everybody see? Well, you guys didn't see. Lakeland Airport up the road is going to be an Amazon air hub. They own things. Amazon owns stuff. Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, Pets.com, they didn't own anything. When you own air can go away. When you own stuff, you own stuff. Right? What did we talk about last week at Top Gun Options? Amazon announced that they're booting a bunch of their workers. Their workers can box about 200 boxes in an hour. The Boxer 2000 can do what? 600 boxes in an hour. But Amazon said, I'll tell you what, former employees, we'll make you a deal. We'll give you an early out. We'll give you a $10,000 bonus and 3 months of pay. Why? Because we're going to turn you into a delivery driver. FedEx and UPS, I talked to one of my buddies who's a captain at FedEx. He's like, holy shnikes. Mark, best entertainment and profitable squadron ever. Who was it? Harry for years had told me, he's like, Wiz, I don't get my news from anywhere but you, and I appreciate that. Sorry I'm going over, guys. Now I'm just vamping here. I got to get going. Let me close this up. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Grab your annual or monthly membership right now. We're going to close the doors tomorrow morning after Accelerated Retirement. We're going to get airborne with or without you, and we're going to have fun. I'm having fun here, guys. I'm very passionate about what I do. I want to help you learn how to trade options. If you're new, I want you to get better at trading options if you know what you're doing. Okay? So I will see everybody at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm going to get the replay posted where? On the replay page. And on the replay page, ladies and gentlemen, if you're like, man, I'm ready to get airborne, click the big green button right now that says enlist in Top Gun Options. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern for our full throttle training. We'll see you tonight. God bless.